Morning, everybody. Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates here, coming to you with a little flip through of these gorgeous books that I got from the French Needle. I linked that. I talked about these in one of my floss tubes a week or so ago, and so I wanted to give you a more in-depth look. It is 9:44 on January 7th. And it is 73 degrees and sunny here in gorgeous Hawaii, Oahu. Let's see, quick news. We get our first shipment, our little shipment tomorrow, and then we did get news that our big shipment is coming Wednesday. So I probably won't do a floss tube until after that. I don't know what kind of chaos we're going to have here, but I'm sure we will have. But for right now, I wanted to sit down and do this. I have a little companion here. He's very tired. He's had a rough morning. I saw Sasha. He's a big boy. Nina is curled up in the sun over on the other side of the apartment. We are taking her to the vet today because her limp has gotten worse. So we will see what is going on with that. But for now, these gorgeous books. I'm going to start with this one, the Christmas one, mostly because it's easier. All of the designs are in the front and the charts are in the back, so I don't have to worry about accidentally showing you a chart. So I hope you can see these okay. And let me know if you have any questions about any of them. Again, they are all in French, so I really don't understand what anything's saying. But they're beautiful books. So first, just a talk, I mean, the book itself, hardcover, just a really nice feel to it, kind of a matte paper type of feel. The pages themselves, the paper is nice and thick, and in fact, so thick that there are times that I had to kind of like, is that just one page or is it two? Just gorgeous, gorgeous books. So Marvelous Christmas in Needlepoint by Helene Berre. Hopefully. So just some little vignettes here at the beginning of some of the patterns. Different ways of finishing them. And I have to say, how cute is that? Just taking a little sprig of maybe mistletoe and hanging it in a frame. Goodness, creative. Haven't the faintest idea what all this means, except Christmas. Maybe somebody can translate that for me. I'm probably going too fast, but that's okay. All right, so table of contents, that pretty thing that we will see again, that is going to be one of the first ones I stitch. The designs. Look at that box of thimbles. I have no desire to have that many thimbles, but I think they look so cool, all collected like that in that box. Just awesome. All right, so we start with littler designs. Just little pieces that you could put together to make something. Or stitch as little smalls, maybe on tags. Look at those three little tiny things. How pretty are those? I have to say the colors throughout the book are kept pretty similar, so everything coordinates. And I believe it is all DMC that she has used. Something about sage. Just very delicate outlines. That's white in the bow, and whether you can see that. And then the delicate leaves, it looks like oak leaves. So pretty. And this Again, I don't know whether you can tell, but there is white, like snow, gathered on the tops of the berries. So this is like a branch that has snow sitting on it. How gorgeous is that? And you know, so simple, so delicate that you don't need anything else. Just that little piece hanging would just be, it would just make me smile. Some more little vignettes, little small sprigs. I could see just doing this, or separating it, putting it with a letter for a tag. So pretty. I love the pine cones with the berries. Oh. And the holly leaves. These are gorgeous holly leaves. I'm going to ask your forgiveness for any shaking. I do have my contraption for holding my phone attached to the chair I'm sitting on, so as I move, it moves a little bit. More little pieces. A little fox. Can't decide what type of animal that's supposed to be. It's not a squirrel. I don't think it's a cat. A ferret? I don't know. But it's cute. Look at the little bunny butt. So sweet. And the little baby deer. Here and here. And then, of course, more holly. And look at this with the bird and the berries. Oh, that is so pretty. Again, all kinds of little ones to, and here she shows them on napkins. To decorate your table. But, you know, quite frankly, I wouldn't want people wiping their mouths on these. Really? What would you do? Maybe make little pennants and hang them. That would be cute, wouldn't it? So pretty. All right. Then we have a somewhat bigger scene. Pretty trees and the deer. I just noticed on this pass through that there are berries on the deer's antlers. And of course the little gift in the middle and some snow through the scene. And again, I don't know whether you can tell, but there are snowflakes coming down in the background. So that's super pretty. Another sweet. So a wreath with the sweet little birds. And look at them just kind of all gathered up here. I love that. It's so delicate. On the opposite page, she does a little bit of an explanation. Again, of course, I don't understand, but for each design, there is something over here. Yeah. Just talking about the design or setup or something. That looks like a, oh yeah, that's a recipe. Gingerbread maybe? I don't know. Something vegan. But over here we have a squirrel with his little bird friend. Look at this branch coming down at the pine cones. Isn't that pretty? And then down here we have little dangles. That looks like a bell to me. It's kind of like he's done his own whatever these are supposed to be. You can see there's like long stitches that kind of going off of them. So pretty. I love how she's done the fluffy tail. You can really get a feel for the fluff. Then we come to kind of a calendar with a different motif on each calendar, and these are just adorable. Little birds and branches, bows. There's another deer. On number 4, acorn. Look at that pretty little tree on 8, Christmas tree. So pretty. I love this bird on 13. And there's our fluffy little squirrel again. Just so pretty. And there's this handsome guy. You know, I think there's so many of these that I keep saying, this is going to be the first one I stitch. This is going to be the first one I stitch. This is going to be the first one I stitch. Look, he's just beautiful. I love the pine cones that kind of blend in with the color of his pelt. It's not fur on a deer, is it? All the little sprigs, the little bird. And you can see how the colors she uses are all the same. So you could create a grouping of things. Isn't he gorgeous? Oh, I love that. And there she shows him kind of as a book cover, notebook cover. This is another one that I'm going to stitch first. Let's get back here. Look at that tree. This I would keep out all year long. I think I would keep the deer out all year long too. Look at that. All the different little sprigs coming together to create this gorgeous, and I love how she has the outline, and there's a few cross stitches of a white or ecru in the flower, but it just creates such a delicate look with just the outline. Oh, that is so pretty. And there's something about it just on white. I'm gonna need to get a lot of white linen. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. See again, is that 1 page or 2? Yeah. Something about a secret Santa. Maybe how the tradition started. I don't know. So here we have a wreath with a few little ornaments hanging off of it. Again, super delicate. Dainty, delicate, sweet. This one you probably couldn't leave up all year, but I'd be tempted to. Why not, right? And this one, again, this is one of my first ones. Look at those pine cones in the middle. Going out to the evergreen, going out to these berry sprigs. It's kind of a mandala, it's kind of a snowflake. It's kind of gorgeous, right? God, I love that. Then she kind of takes the motifs and separates them out again into smaller ones. So little tiny pine sprigs, little tiny pine cones, bigger pine cones tied with a bow. So delicate. And again, the holly leaves. I just love the holly leaves. And here she shows those motifs on little sachet bags. Be nice little presents. Look how pretty. Those would be so sweet to package up as little presents. This one is just little sprigs with a border around it if you wanted to do it as a kind of a framed piece. Or she shows it where she's done that, done a whip stitch of the edges and used it as a wrapping for a present. Now, I would really have to like someone to do that. That's a lot of work. But holy cow, I guess by the time they're done, look, she just closes it with a pin, nothing fancy. But I guess once they open up the present, then they have this gorgeous piece that they can display, hang, right? Something like that. I love how she shows on the opposite page other boxes just kind of wrapped and tied with fabric. It's beautiful. We get into a few alphabets here. This one is a more graphic one, I guess, with the trees scattered on a very standard alphabet. Then we get into a more flowery, spriggy one. Kind of using a bunch of the little motifs and putting them together to form letters. I love the touches of black. There's nothing like black in a design that to really make it pop. Look at the U. I love this with the peach and then the black coming off of it to look like a pine, a little pine bow, however you say that word. Just gorgeous. Get the holly leaves on that, just the outline, and then some berries done in black. So pretty. This is the one that was at the beginning. So the Elegant Hellebore à la Rose de Noël. So I know this as a Lenten rose. There may be a hellebore that's also a Christmas rose, but I know the hellebore is a Lenten rose. So, but whatever it is, it's stunning. I love how the alphabet has different fonts. All of them just gorgeous, and then overlaid with the sprig with the flowers. So elegant, so delicate. This is another, I've got to stitch this first one. Now this is neat. I can't decide if I like this or not though. So has the letters stitched and then back in red and then back stitched over them in white, so they have this striped look. I think it's a very interesting technique. I can't decide if I like it in the red and white. Maybe if it were more tone on tone, but of course red and white is Christmassy, right? So I get it. Pretty, pretty. And then she shows using that alphabet for gift tags. Oops, that's the bottom. Very cool, very cool. I don't think I've ever had anything that coordinated that well. All right, then we get into the charts themselves, which of course I'm not going to show you. After the charts, she talks about some basics of cross stitch, the different types of fabric that you can use, and then some finishing guidelines for some of the things that she showed in the book. And then some of her other books. So that is that one. Marvelous Christmas, Helene de Berre, or something like that. Okay, so now we have Marvelous Nature in cross stitch, and this is by Marie-Therese Saint-Aubin, something like that. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult to film because the charts are interspersed amongst the designs, so please forgive me if I fumble a bit, and hopefully I won't show you any of the charts. This one is gorgeous. The paper is a little bit shinier, slicker than the other book, not quite as matte. Still a gorgeous presentation. The designs themselves are sketchy and watercolory and delicate and elegant and all those things. And I want to stitch every single one of these first. Well, maybe not every single one, but quite a few. All right, and I love that she uses all the different colors. Now, in the other book, I liked it all on the white. They just popped, but I love all the different colors. All right, let's get started. So again, all in French. She does a lot of half stitch, 10 stitch on these. She uses different weights, different sizes to create dimension. One thing that I have to say though is that one of my critiques, I guess, is the stitches aren't always that neat. But it kind of creates more of a, I don't know, a rustic. I don't know how something can be rustic and elegant at the same time, but that's the feel I get from these. I mean, let's look at this. This is really thick along here, and it just looks really messy up close. And I don't know whether she used like a pearl cotton here and regular DMC floss here and then 10 stitch. So it has that, it really does give it a 3D look. Do you see that? How there's a shadow cast and it fades? When you look at it far away and then the middle just pops with whatever she used there, you can see it is a thicker thread. This particular book, I think I'm going to need more help from my French-speaking friends to figure out what she uses where, because like I said, I don't understand the charts, the words in the French. This one seems to be all cross stitch, except for the long stitches there, of course. But again, a very, I don't know what to call this, sketchy look. And of course the fabric, oh, that's very tropical looking, isn't it? Here's a page of just deliciousness where she's talking about the fabric and the thread she uses. So she talks about, she has some really thick, large count, I guess, fabrics where she uses wools and pearl cottons. Here's some wools down here, and then she has the DMC and finer linens. Look how big that count is. Can you see that? Look at that. Huge. All right, so more details on that. wisteria. Again, I want to stitch this first. Look how gorgeous that is. Along with a bug, Amy. That's for Amy Loves Toads. There's several bugs throughout this book. Gorgeous butterfly, bird, anthurium. All right, so that's kind of an overview. So our first chart is of the anthurium. And I like that she shows it both as a solid color and with a couple colors. Very pretty. All right, bear with me. Next page is safe. This is some kind of herb or something. What does that mean? I don't know. But this is lovely. Look at that. And something that she does, which, you know, I did this, something similar to this on my Grace Quaker sampler. I did a swatches of each of the colors, so I would have them laid out there. But look how she does it. Kind of a long strand woven in. She does it a couple different ways throughout the book, and I'll show you those. But I think that's so clever, such a cool way to be able to see your floss colors all right there. And I believe she's using, looks like a Berre soie for this one. How pretty. Gosh. And then close up, and I believe this is, a lot of hers are over 1, and that is. I believe we have charts on the next couple pages. And then we get to the bug. This is a, oops, sorry, I just really bumped you. This is a green Coleopterus, whatever that is. And she's done this, and she does this a lot. She's done several different ones on different sizes of fabric. So she has on silk gauze, on linen, on a bigger count. And she tells you what she used here for the different samples. And if someone could tell me, all right, so this is obviously some type of linen. I don't know, I would like to know how, like this 11 fills per centimeter, I guess that's strand, 16. I bet you there's a conversion chart out there on the wonderful interwebs somewhere. But is that like a 32 count linen? I know centimeters and inches aren't the same, so I'd be interested to know how that translates. Although, like I said, I'm sure if I did a search, I would find it. I'm always telling my kids when they text and say, and ask a question, we'll respond and say, you know, there's this thing called the internet. It's an amazing source of information. I'm sure on the other end, they are rolling their eyes at us. So there it is on the silk gauze and the linen. Mr. Greenbug. And then I think we have a chart over here. So let me cover that up. And there's the big bug. And she has several places, and I'll comment on them as we go through, where she just has, so this looks like she's done some kind of hem stitch on the edge of this. Is it Ada? Yeah, it's an Ada. And just hung it on the wall like that. And there's just something about that simple finish that really appeals to me. I think that's so pretty. All right, so let's see what we have next. Is it a safe page? It's a safe page. Oh, this one's for Letitia. The peacock feather. So here's another instance where she did a little sample swatch with all of her colors in a different way than that last time. And there's the peacock feather. So she has some tent stitches to make it kind of look more faded. Gorgeous colors. And I mean, look how close that is to the real thing. I think the next page has the chart as well as a closer picture. Look how gorgeous. And again, stitched over one on a very open linen. Now, one thing that I do notice again with her is, I mean, she's going underneath, you know, quite a fair way with her floss. It doesn't bother me as much here because it suggests the continuation of the line of the feathers, which you know are happening. So it doesn't bother me here. And again, such a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Say she does stitch that in soie d'Alger, and she does give the DMC equivalent. Okay, the next page is safe. Sure. All right, now we get into butterflies. Let's put that there. So I find these butterflies fascinating, not just because I like butterflies. So this is another instance where she did a sample on the silk gauze. She did a sample on the linen. And then she did a sample, and I think if I remember correctly, she actually has a separate chart where she has, I'm trying to get this where you can see it, where she has left out the stitches. It's not wanting to focus. There. She's left out the stitches on these lines. So it kind of lets the line of the linen show through. And I think that's fascinating. I think that is such a cool technique. Of course, I like these ones as well. There we go. So pretty. And on the next page, we have it a little bit closer. The silk gauze one and the 1/1 on linen. So pretty. All right, let's see what's next. The next page is a safe page, Digitalis. So we have some foxglove here. This one is another one I find fascinating. So she did this on fairly large count. Again, I don't know what that translates to in inches, but she used a pearl cotton. And so you know this has to be a bigger count of fabric. And I love it. And what I really love is, again, this way of displaying it that's unfinished. And maybe it's just, it'd be cheap to finish this way, right? But this is like, I don't know, the simplicity of it appeals to me. I find it elegant, yet rustic. I just love it. I think that is so cool. And the edges are frayed. You can't really tell if she's done any type of stitching to stop the fraying. I just find that stunning. And so, yes, I need to stitch this first. Let's see. Okay, this is safe. Now we get to the pansies. Kara, this is for you. So she actually has 3 different colorways of pansies. These first 2 she shows on mesh bags. Let me get this focusing again. So that one and that one. on these mesh bags, and I think that's wool. I don't know whether you can tell that, but she did use wool for these, and I think that's a brilliant idea. And then, let's see, and here's a close-up of that colorway with the wool, little wool swatches hanging down there. So cool. And then, oh, did I miss the little one? Hold on. Oh, I did miss. I totally skipped a page. There's this one. So this is, again, is on linen, 1/1. Look how gorgeous that is. Again, she used soie d'Alger on this. There's the information there. If I can get it to focus. And there's a more close-up of that gorgeous pansy. This designer has a gorgeous way with color and shading, and I love how she uses the 10th stitch to kind of have it parts fade into the background more. So well done. Okay, so now I showed you that page. We'll move on. Oh, wisteria. This is gorgeous. Let me get my paper out of here so I don't lose track of it. Look at that. So again, soie d'Alger on a green linen. Looks to be a smaller count than that last one because it says 12 instead of 11. That's all I know. Such a gorgeous piece. This is another one I have to start. I have to stitch first. So delicate. Right, and I think this is the one, this chart is actually in a separate little pouch here in the back, as it's a fairly big chart. Even though it doesn't look that big, it's fairly big. Then we have little Mr. Parakeet. And she shows him in a variety of colors, on a variety of fabrics, a variety of sizes. All of them super pretty. Try and get you closer and get you focused some. It's not wanting to focus. I don't know which one of these I like better. I'm afraid that some of the colors, like this one, some of the colors are kind of fading on that, the particular background color, but look at him. Isn't he super handsome? Now, let me see if she gives all the different colorways. Don't want to show you too much. Hold on. Oh, and even more. Green and turquoise and pink and just black and white. And then a bigger picture of the orange one. Let's go to see. Oh, and even more. She liked these, didn't she? So look at the difference in the size. And if you can see, if you can read French, there's the different dimensions. And the small one she did with the soie d'Alger, and the bigger one she did with a wool. And even more. She liked these birds. But again, what a simple finish. So she repeated on this, not even the whole bird necessarily, just the heads here and there, interspersed by the whole bird, but just on a simple bell pull with a piece of wood and just fringed it. Did some stitching along it to hem it, left the bottom open and just fringed it. How awesome is that? Oh, and look over here. Okay, so she did a close-up over here. My God, I don't know whether I'd have the guts to do this. So her fringe goes up into where the stitching is happening. So as she took out, I don't know whether it's the weft or the warp that goes horizontal, but as she took out those threads, she must have had to leave the ones, I don't even know, but that is awesome. All right, I'm gonna have to try something like that. That is just too cool. Let's see. Oh, more birds. So this one's a pie. So this is another one where she has one design. I mean, none of these are filled in, but then she's done another one where she's left some of the stitches off to emphasize the lines of the linen. And there's just something about that that I find fascinating. I don't know why. So there's those same pictures a little further away. Let's see. All right, Mr. Bird graph is on the next page, so let's skip over. Oh, this one won't be one of the ones I do. Amy, maybe you'll like this. An ant. And she has the ants in black and white. Cool. But not something I'm gonna stitch. The next page has the ant graphs, the blacks and the whites side. Yeah. All right, exuberant nature. Oh, the pretty pictures. Orchid. Oh, shoot. All right. Can only show you the one page of this because that page, even though it has a picture, it also has a chart. Orchid. I got my first orchid yesterday. It's out on the lanai. I'll have to show it to you guys in my floss tube. Again, the little swatches. Beautiful. What's not to love about orchids? Let's see. Next page. So this is another one with the wisteria. I guess a different version of it. I think. Because this one has, you know, the main wisteria and then some faint outlines of other blossoms coming down. Just gorgeous. I cannot not get over just how stunning just the delicate nature of these designs are. I think I need all of her books. Once again, she did the little swatch just weaving the fibers through the fabric. And she used Soie d'Alger again for this. All right, here's some more creatures for Amy. And I guess we need to have snails. Now these snails I don't mind. The slimy snails and the slugs that go crawling across the sidewalk that I accidentally step on at night when I'm in my bare feet. Yes, that happened in Florida. It was not pleasant. Those I mind. These ones I don't. And look how pretty and swirly. She did a great job with these shells. Just a little hint of snails. I still don't know that I'd stitch them. Escargot. The dissimulation, the tentative dissimulation of escargot. I don't know what that really says, so somebody can tell me. Oh, wow. Hydrangea. Hydrangea on this gold fabric. Again, the swatches. Just gorgeous. I would never have thought to put them on a gold like this, but look how stunning that is. Haven't the faintest idea what this means. Something about blue in the garden. Beautiful. Yes, I'll be doing that. What did I do with my paper? Shoot. Oh, there it is. Because I probably, I thought there was a chart coming up there and a chart there. Oh, this is so pretty, asters. I don't know why this isn't auto-focusing. I guess maybe once you do it manual, then it never does auto again until you go out of it. Look at that pretty piece. And again, the purple is beautiful. Green would probably be pretty too. Just a sweet, sweet little piece. And yes, I will be doing that one as well. Most of these she seems to use Soie d'Alger on. All right, these gorgeous roses. Again, Soie d'Alger on this. So what does all that mean? Out of Soie d'Alger and de la Soie Surfine for the text, something, and petals. I think I need to learn French. She does the swatches again there. How gorgeous is that? And again, the green is perfect. This is the one I showed you at the beginning where it looked like it was thicker around the edges there, and it's definitely thicker in the middle. So this is one that I'll have to figure out what all of the different things mean so I can do this properly. Because yes, I will be doing that at some point. Charts on the next page, and then there's this. Oh, again, more hydrangeas on green. Now this is a bigger count, I believe. So this is a pearl cotton on a bigger count of fabric. Just stunning. And I actually really like, okay, So do you see how she did the design in the bottom right quadrant for the most part and left all this what is known as white space? I would frame it like that. That's a great design concept. And I know I've talked about doing a design video and I haven't had a chance yet, and that's still in the back of my mind. But that is just, I mean, that gorgeous green fabric showing, just beautiful. So that's going to be one of my first ones as well. Let's see if I have any beautiful green fabric. All right, let's get out our paper again here. Show it a little bit close up. Beautiful. Who wants to do a stitch along with me on every single design in this book? All right. So here we have apple blossoms, I believe. Right? Pommier and fleur, something like that. I don't particularly care for them on this dark green, nor do I care for them on this blue. I don't think the blue works. This mottled green, though, that's gorgeous. I mean, I guess the dark green isn't bad. I don't know. I'd have to see what else I could find. I paused a minute there because I thought I heard, oh no, Sasha's crying, sleeping in the box. I thought I heard a cat crying, but it's not Sasha. All right, here's more of the apple blossoms. Again on blue. I just don't care for it on blue, which is odd because, you know, blue sky background. But that just doesn't do it for me. And then she has it over here on red, and I really don't like that either. That bright red doesn't say springtime to me. It's too hot of a color for apple blossoms. Just my personal opinion. All right, there is the pattern. Oh, and then there's this one. Oh, exotic bouquet. I think I need to do this one. What do you think? Yes? I thought so. That fabric is just stunning, just gorgeous. So this is done with a DMC, with cotton floss on an Aida. Again, she's done the little swatches down here. Isn't that gorgeous? Another one I have to do first. Maybe I should do my Stitch 9 challenge out of these books. I'd have to do 9 out of this one and 9 out of the other one. And oh, then there's that Sand, Sea, and Sun book that I got that I wanted to get started on. 9 out of that one. Not to mention all the big-ass projects that I'm starting. God. Yes, I can happily stitch from stash, I think, for the rest of my life. Just get fabric maybe and floss and be good to go. Okay, so that is the chart. More gorgeous tropical flowers. I mean, how can I resist that gorgeous blue fabric? And of course, orange on blue. Orange and blue are opposite on the colorway wheel, so they are perfect complements to each other. And so that's why that works so perfectly. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, chart. Oh, and look, more birds. Look at these handsome guys on the yellow. And again, this is another one where maybe she charted it so that some of the lines were missing. That one she kind of flipped. Goodness. I love this one with all the different colors. He's a tropical beauty, isn't he? This one down here on the bottom right. Where's my finger? There it is. Gosh. Actually, I think that's that one. Oh, I think I need some gold fabric. I'm pretty sure I don't have any gold, and I think she does chart these, has all the different colors mentioned for these. Oh, and look, more birds. All right, Betsy, Bird Stitcher, Colorado. If you like tropical birds, this book is for you. If you like this style. This is a very different style, isn't it? I don't think I would be stitching all of these birds. I'll stitch some of them. And look, more birds. She keeps throwing up charts on the opposite pages, so this is getting a little difficult. More birds. Actually, I think that's all the same bird, just in a bunch of different colorways. Look at it on the dark fabric. That's very cool. And I don't know if she has all the different colors charted or not. More birds. She's obviously fascinated with creating all the different color combinations, which I can't blame her on all the different fabrics. All right, and that is the end. And all of her other wonderful books. So much to stitch. So little time. All right, guys, we are almost at an hour. We will end with that beautiful peacock feather. I will be back as soon as life allows me for a floss tube update. Until then, have a great day, have a great week. Find your joy, even if it's just in looking at these pretty pictures. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.